2004, arguably one of the final years of classical backyard wrestling. It was a significant year as well. It was the year Martha Stewart went to prison. It was the year Janet Jackson had her wardrobe malfunction. It was also the year that Christopher Daniels won the ECWA Super 8 in a final against Austin Aries, nonetheless. 2004 also marks the year Stone Cold Steve Austin was released from his contract with the WWE after 8 years of incredible service, which brings us to the brutal subject matter at hand. This is James Taylor versus Phoenix for a shot at the TWF World Championship. No holds barred, as you see before you. And as you'll see, this match stands as a true testament to a time when backyard wrestling was more akin to a spiritual practice and a sport more so than a performance art. Exhibit A. Most of the working strikes during this contest were absolutely immaculate. Not to mention this back body drop right here. Man, brutal stuff. And these matches, they were not just simply matches. These were tests of pure endurance. This was a time when rest holds were seen as a sign of weakness. And your devotion was in question if you did not hit your spots flush. We call this time, this philosophy in backyard wrestling, the Old Testament. And there's no better example than this particular match. Look at this. Brutal stuff.
What was that?
The first day of my career, my first kid's name was... I'd like to see...
Phoenix here with an excellent cutoff. We get a knee to the midsection here, and then it looked like he was going for a blockbuster, but then rolls through and then ends up sending James on the leg of that chair. That was a beautiful missile drop kick right there by Phoenix. James Taylor comes in with a beautiful stunner, hit perfectly. Look at this right here, gonna scoop slam right there. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a wood-covered camper. Just brutal surface there. The follow-ups here were fantastic. Again, the working strikes just immaculate in this match. But wait, there's more. Phoenix channeling dreams of Jenna Jameson, another 2004 star. Kick to the midsection by James Taylor. Check this out. Sets the stop sign up. And I tell you, back then, pile drivers flew. Look at this. Beautifully done. This will be followed by the most popular maneuver of the time. I do wish this kick to the midsection had connected a little bit more. But of course, we're talking about the pedigree. And the way it was taken during this time was on the knees. This was true for both backyard and pro wrestling during the time, considering the Michaels tragedy years prior. As we continue the action, James Taylor sends him into the tree. Phoenix comes off for a tilt-a-whirl head scissor takedown. Beautifully done. Fantastic. I mean, during this time, moves were innovative. Throws the ladder down on James Taylor. Look at this. Comes off. Springboard crossbody with a slightly askew transition into a dragon sleeper. Look at this. Phoenix with a Tatsumaki Senpukyaku. Followed by a devastating vertical suplex here. Absolute agony right there. A running, jumping, flying clothesline. But wait, it's not over yet. Then we get what appears to be a barbed wire strangulation on James Taylor. And this has just been a clinic of brutality. Look at this. Phoenix using the edge of the railroad sign, and James Taylor retaliates. And this is followed by one of my all-time favorite spots, the rotation powerbomb.
Things were crazy times back
Just
then,
some
ladies and
absolute classical brutality between these two. And then we get this funny bit of storytelling here. As Phoenix is taking too long with that tube, James Taylor takes the initiative and sends him right back into the truck. Taylor threatening any outside interference. Great stuff there as Phoenix is sent into the bed of the truck there. Check this out. Gonna hit some mud hole stomps. The connection and contact here is fantastic. Look at this. You couldn't ask for better working strikes there. We're going to bring in the trash can, and this was fantastic. That drop toes him face first into the can. Phoenix goes for another tube here, and Taylor wisely pulls him forward off the slam to avoid the brunt of the glass, drags him back by the pant leg. Check this out right here. Fantastic. Cut off with the high knee lift. Look at that. And here we go. Break right on the back. Beautifully done. He cut his hand there. Look at that. Sends him into the side of the truck there. These are fantastic strikes to the midsection by Phoenix. And then we continue on as I wish he'd have hit that elbow a little bit more flush. And we missed the tube interference strike to the back of James Taylor. It was off camera. However, it's followed by Phoenix coming back up. James Taylor in absolute agony here. Look at that. More glass broken here. And then Phoenix gives a little taste of the medicine as well, giving James the turn and momentum he needs. These working strikes are absolutely fantastic. Man just decides to splash some blood on his face there. And again, I say the bumps of Old Yard are a completely different animal, guys. Phoenix finishes the match with 2 resounding flipping senton bombs there and goes for the cover for the 1, 2, and the 3. This ends the match, but wait, there's more, because the follow-up to this is unbelievable. Because there is a wrestling moral to this story about getting out while you're ahead. Here, Phoenix executes a devastating DDT on someone who had an issue with the outcome of this particular contest. Here we go. Phoenix's celebration is miraculously cut short by James Taylor, who hits a nasty stunner from that height. Look at that. That was devastating. The agony on the face of Phoenix. And I'll tell you, this old school backyard wrestling was a time of great one-upsmanship. And again, I said it was a contest of endurance. The beer cans are brought in, stunners are nailed, mists of alcohol fly as James Taylor partakes in his own celebratory ceremony here. Well, a salute. Man. This is then returned tenfold by Phoenix, who recovers shortly thereafter and decides to issue some punishment of his own, hitting some working strikes and a stunner of his own, sending James Taylor flying back. The sells here were absolutely fantastic. However, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, the official winner of this match was indeed Phoenix, who will be getting that shot at the championship here in TWF. But none of that matters when you look at the true scope of what was accomplished here. Minus precisely 1 minute and 39 seconds, these two gave you 22 minutes and 30 seconds of non-stop brutal action at a level of quality I personally consider a dying art. And if you want to keep up with the aftermath as well as the latest in underground and backyard.
Hello and welcome, my fellow operatives. My name is Taft Taylor, and my guest is not here at the. Oh my goodness, he just popped in, I believe. I'm gonna pop him up here in just one quick second. So we're gonna go ahead and it looks like Mr. Parsley is here, but he's sideways. Yeah. Oh, there it is, right there. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Taft Taylor, and welcome to the Nemesis Sessions. And today on the Nemesis Sessions, I had to show the little video, so we had some time to kill. But nonetheless, I have the one and the only XCW superstar. He calls himself the first real West wrestler, and that is Mr. Justin Parsley. Mr. Parsley, welcome to the Nemesis Sessions. This is our first time meeting. I am the Nemesis James Taylor, and you're the real wrestler himself, the first real wrestler. What does that mean, and how the hell are you today?
Oh, I want to say, first of all, thank you for having me, Taff. I'm going to go ahead and
look at you. Look at
open
you.
up one of those in honor of you and in honor of being here. I appreciate you.
There you go, man. Amen to that. I don't
That's
got
my first time trying it. That's pretty good stuff.
I'm trying to cut back on it myself, so I'm just going to stick to the water. But you
I
go
got
ahead
the water
and
too to stay hydrated.
Tease the world with everybody with it.
All right, so the first real wrestler, it kind of came from, I don't know if you're familiar with Jack Vaughn down in OVW.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so he's like the last real professional wrestler. And I was playing with ideas of like, what do I do for this comeback? What kind of a nickname could I have? And it kind of dawned on me that no one's really taken advantage of like the reels and the shorts and things like that on social media. Such a simple concept. And I thought, well, with my move set, like a lot of them are just highlights, so that would make a great set of reels. So maybe if I do something with the real wrestler, and then it all just kind of came together, and here we are.
Nice. Okay, I get it now. The first real wrestler. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's really good to know. So I know that you're down there or up there. See, I'm down there, but you're up there in XCW. How long have you been a part of the company? I'm still learning everything when it comes to you and what you've done. How long have you been in the business? I always like to get the fans to know who is my guest. So
Mm-hmm.
you've kind of explained a little bit about that, but how long have you been in this business and why XCW?
Okay. So I've been in the business since probably '96, I would say. I
Oh,
was,
wow. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I was in third grade. I met my best friend, Kurt Acid, who is no longer with us. He passed away, unfortunately, in
Oh, my
2022.
condolences.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, he kind of co-founded XCW, so I came back in his honor. But our backstory, see this meeting in third grade. I kind of saved him from a bully at a bus stop, and we were best friends ever since. We connected on wrestling, and it made us inseparable. So we went from the yard. I know you went from the. I've seen you. So we go from the ground to loud sound effects of landing on old cars, stuff like that, to my dad builds like a porch deck on the front, and so we start taking bumps on it, and that becomes our wrestling ring,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And then from there, like the trampoline, so on and so forth, and then I kind of
I actually started trampoline, went to the ground, then went to a pool deck onto a camper, stayed on the ground, then transitioned into like makeshift rings and stuff like that.
yeah, that's awesome. I've never actually been in a makeshift ring. I've seen some with the the modern concept of the
Yeah.
backyard world. Like yeah, they're all over the place. But then, so when Kurt Acid passed away, I came back to honor him. They did a memorial show, and I worked with his cousin, and we started a little program that we agreed on. It would go to this date, and I thought that would be it. And then, lo and behold, I talked to Fletcher. He pitches some really good sounding ideas. We start off doing it, and it kind of fell through. And then the season after that, I came back full time. So it's been a ride. It's been a crazy ride.
So did you have basically you said 96, so that would in a way make it to where you've been doing this longer than me, but I started when I was like 14 of going on 15, and that was late 98. I did 99. We were just playing on the trampoline and trying moves and learning the craft, and then
Sure.
I asked on my 16th birthday, my dad said, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I said, "I'd love to have a video camera." And I got one of those old school cameras back in 2000, and that's when I started recording everything. And I've shown people, got the tapes. I still got them to this day. I have it waiting on my converter to get. I just got uh, my converter ordered off of Amazon, so I'm gonna be putting those up really soon. It's a lot of my trampoline days right there. So,
That's awesome. Yeah, I have a
um,
lot of footage like that Fletch is wanting to do the same thing with, convert it over to digital and to have that old footage of Benji, Kurt Acid, and even us just younger. Because Fletch and I go way back. We used to wrestle for like companies that I had created. He didn't like the way that I booked and ran things. I think he said it was too chaotic, so I would book bigger than the roster I would have. I think my mind and stuff I just saw and wanted to do too much with too few people. So that got out of hand, and then he left and created XCW. So because of me, XCW was created, not wanting to work for me, and it's been around since I think 2004, so 20 years.
damn, man.
Yes,
Did you have any break in between, or have you just been going
I
nonstop?
no, I like I said, I went away from it for a while. I did some like independent training, thought I was gonna go that route. Didn't really like the politics of it and stuff or the way that it was working. So
Yeah.
just kind of dropped doing that, did the dad thing, like had two kids and just had my third.
Heck yeah.
But yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. I appreciate that. When I had the first two though, I just focused on that, like put all my energy into that and just kind of watched wrestling, enjoyed it as a fan. And then when Benji passed away, like I said, in 22, I came back to it, and I've been doing it, I guess, since then. So it's just been,
Yeah.
it was a hot start, and it's just caught fire, and it's been a lot of fun.
It's kind of like having that second win because I was the same way, I stopped doing it around 2010. I had like a little thing that I got to do in 2015 for like 2 or 3 shows, but it was nothing recorded. It was really just kind of seeing to get my feet wet again, see if I really wanted to do it. Had some back problems, but and then 2021 came around, and the year after the anniversary of her death, and in honor of her, and because of a guy that you shared the locker room with, I think at least once, Mr. Anthony Steele,
Mm-hmm.
um, brought me out of that retirement to have one more match and it be with him, kind of test the old line with the younger line. And once I did that, I was hooked. And I guess you could kind of consider me a part timer in the backyard. As far as going indie, I am in the process of doing that. I'm not looking to go super pro because I just now hit 40 myself. And I love this business. And all I want to do is just have another couple of years, have some great matches with some people, and then hang it up. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
And so how old are you, if it's all right
I,
to ask?
yeah, I'm 36.
You're 36. Okay,
Yeah.
so I've got a few years on you, but you started younger than what I did. That's cool though.
Yeah, and
I
that's just
admire that.
like you said, like playing around in the yard and smacking each other with sticks, like calling them kendo sticks, and seeing how hardcore you could be, and finding my mom and dad's camera and recording it. So, yeah, I go back to that same era. Yeah.
Anthony says I suck, and he says I need my match, Parsley.
When and where?
When and where? Sign the
When and
paper.
where? Yeah.
Anthony, you see, us old heads, I'm gonna call us old heads like I did with Copper Dragon. So you understand what it was like back in the late '90s, early 2000s. What that genre of backyard wrestling was, just a different entity than what it is today,
I
in
like
my
how he put
eyes.
it, the Old Testament and the New Testament. I really
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
exactly what we were saying it as, and I love that talk. Well, Anthony's that New Testament type wrestler, and I brought the Old Testament ways to him, and Anthony, if you go one on one with Justin Parsley, he's going to do the same thing to you that I did, and that's just beat the hell out of you. But anyways,
That's what we do. That's what us old dogs do.
yeah, Anthony's a good guy though. Me and him, we're 1-1. We need to have the rubber match, and it's just a matter of time before we get that rubber match. Hopefully, it's going to be this year. And
Yeah.
if we get that rubber match, then I'm gonna beat the dog crap out of him. But nonetheless, this ain't about me, Justin. If I see that you. Let's go ahead. We're going to kind of fast forward in time, and we're going to go to you and IMF. I saw that you had a tag team match with Soldier GP and Omen Black. Tell me what that was like, and compared to what you were used to with XCW and all the stuff you've been through, what it was like, kind of like going to an unfamiliar territory. Or was it? Did it feel unfamiliar, or did it feel like, you know what, this is just another day at the office to me? How did you take that as an old school guy like me, and how did you evolve with it? You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So I had been so used to working with the same group of guys, like the XCW locker room is like a brotherhood. So there's like the same guys in and out for the most part. We get a few cameos here and there, but the IMF guys actually came in for a show called Encounters. So it was going to highlight a bunch of different talent, outside talent, like JX, Jacob Collins, all these other different talents were there. And IMF,
Right.
It was kind of built around the foundation, or IMF versus the real ones. So I thought it was quite the compliment, and it was humbling to know that we had, I guess, built up the tag division in XCW alone to a point where it mattered. Because it just kind of, I don't know, I feel like they just kind of threw together what they could, and what worked, and what didn't, and they just kept the ball rolling. But with the real ones, like we caught fire, momentum, made the fans care, got them invested. So when IMF came in, like they were just, big boys, like they are just bred different. And it all started with like talking smack and stuff online, and then they come there in person, and like episode 1, they got the better of us. They beat the crap out of us. I don't even know if we got a single offensive move, just from underestimating them, from not believing that giants do exist. And but then episode 11 came, 10 episodes later, and we were ready. We knew what they were about, and we brought it to them, a tornado tag, and I think we got the first like official clean pinfall over the foundation as a tag team. So quite the honor. Yeah, it was awesome. It was great working with them. They were tough and completely different style, and they were strong style compared to the entertainment style that we're used to. But I think that they totally respected us after that first match, and then the second match we went out there and just beat the hell out of each other, old school style, Old Testament style.
Hell yeah, man! That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, man.
I know that Soldier GP and me have been having some words back and forth for over a year now. My travel schedule is just it's different because I've got so many things that I have to take care of. So I haven't been able to unfortunately travel to the north. And one of these days, if I get that opportunity, I will. Or if I could get him to travel down here, it might be different, but who knows? The
Yeah.
fact is, one day though, I know that he wants a match with me more than anything, and I would like to have a match with him. But
I
there's a
think you guys
lot of
have to have a
guys.
stun off. You guys have to have a stun off. It's
I know.
inevitable.
I get that a lot. Y'all need to
Yeah.
both have a stunner match. Like, oh my god. So,
Yeah.
what have you watched of mine? Did you watch that one video at least that Copper Dragon rated on me?
I did, and I watched the Max Chaos match. So I
Oh, okay.
really, really like the finish of that match, by the way.
I loved all I wanted to do in that match was go out there and just sell for him. I just wanted to go out there because he was still green and learning. He's been doing it for a couple of years, but you could tell he's real green. And TBW is a different. I'm not with TBW no more, so it's all right to say. But he wanted to have a match with me. I said, let's do it. We got it booked the way he wanted to do it, and all I wanted to do was go out there and make him look strong and make him
Mhm.
look as good as I could. And that's one of my favorite things to do in any match itself. And if
Me
you could
too.
clearly
I get
tell in
it.
that match, my favorite match is that one that Phoenix beat me in back in '04. But besides the point, real quick before I bring
Is that the one
on,
that's on the ground completely? Is that the one that's on
that's
the
the one that's
ground? And
completely on the ground. Yeah.
yeah,
Before
that's
I'm going to bring somebody in here in just a few minutes, but I want to know when you, as an old head, if it's all right to say that about you,
absolutely. Yeah, I got the gray to prove it. So go ahead.
there you go. So
Yeah.
when you watch something like that, does it bring back memories for you and having matches like that yourself?
Yes. So after I left wrestling, XCW was still doing their thing, and they just were doing it on VHS or like the high 8mm tapes or whatever, and they were kind of
Okay.
just watching it amongst themselves still. And I got wild hair up my ass, and I decided, hey, I think that I could get more views than XCW, so I created a brand called UIW, and I created it based off of even an acronym that Benji gave me, Kurt Acid, while he was with XCW, and he started out there, and then guys from XCW came in. We used their initials or their logo or their name rather without Josh's permission, and I know he kind of held that against me for years, but it was all just in good fun storytelling. Meant nothing by it. I just wanted to get more views than XCW. That's what it was at that point in time. So I uploaded on
Competition.
YouTube. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Especially back then, Fletch and I didn't get along at that point. And I thought, well, if I go onto YouTube, that's something they're not doing. I will get more views. Like it's inevitable. And
Yes,
that's how I
sir.
had this short UIW run. So I can go back and watch some of that footage on the ground and stuff on mattresses that, during heavy trash week that we would steal and take on our car and load it into the backyard and stuff, the stupid stuff we did to wrestle. Yeah.
That's because we're just wanting to put on a show and have fun doing it. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Dude,
Yeah.
you should send me some links to some of those that you'd want me to see if you want me to.
Yes, sir.
And if you give me any permission, I'll do a review of it my own and just kind of commentate over one of them and put it on my channel and plug you in it. What would you think of that?
I would absolutely love that, man. So they are
Excellent.
all kind of together. They aren't separated. I know how you and Copper Dragon were talking, how you kind of like them broken up. But
That's
back
fun.
then, it was a big deal for me to be able to mesh it all together and make
Oh
it into
yeah.
a free
Dude,
per
like
view, as I would call it.
this right here is nothing but a whole bunch of stuff all meshed together. This is
Yeah.
probably like 6 hours worth of footage. It's
Yeah.
not all me, but there's like some of my friends that were on there that had their matches and stuff. I'm not gonna put all that onto the YouTube. I don't know. I haven't thought about it, but because some of it was just kind of retarded and goofy. Can I say that? Can I say that? I don't know.
It's your
Anyways,
channel. I
real
don't
it's all good. We're here to have fun. We're
know.
not insulting nobody. And that beer looks really tasty. So
It's
I
pretty
like the
tasty.
American Lager, but I cannot get my hands on it anywhere around here. The Broken Skull IPA that I got, I actually got from Nashville, which is about 2.5 hours from me. It was the closest place that had it. But
Hmm.
nobody nearby, not even in Tennessee, has the Broken Skull uh, American Lager, and I want that so bad. I want to
I
try
went
it.
to I went to a place that had both of them just so I could stock up on both. So I got a 4-pack of each one.
I
I
need to
have not had the
contact.
316 IPA yet though.
I'd love to have that. Have you had the American Lager?
Not yet. I haven't cracked it open yet. No, I did
Oh,
all
you
this
got
for
one.
this occasion. Yeah, this
You're
is for just
teasing.
this
Yeah, it's
occasion.
because the joke is that I'm the Stone Cold knockoff. I love it. And hey,
Well, didn't you have a video?
if
You went pretty
anything,
viral for drinking with Stone Cold, didn't you? the
Yeah,
toast.
yeah,
I mean,
I know.
so
That's one of the videos. But here's the coolest part is the fact that I take it more as a compliment now because I don't care. So it's all good.
yeah,
But
I
all
get that.
right, I need
I
to
get that.
contact you and maybe hook up some information and see if I can get you to mail me some and I pay you. Uh, because
If that's
I
legal, we could do that.
we'll work it out.
Yeah,
Anyways,
we'll talk
I'm
about it
gonna
off camera.
yeah, we'll talk about it off camera, ladies and gentlemen. We're here on the Nemesis Sessions. This is Justin Parsley. He is the first real wrestler. Mr. Justin Parsley, I have a guest that wants to come on here. He wants to ask you, I don't do this a whole lot, but in certain things I like to make an exception. And I'm gonna bring him on. He's gonna talk with you, and he's asking me if he could co-host with me. Is this okay with you for a few minutes or for a bit?
Sure, absolutely.
So we're still gonna do the same exact thing, but this guy's gonna come on here, and that is Mr. Anthony Steele. Anthony,
Ah, yeah,
welcome
what it is,
back to
boy?
the Nemesis Sessions. How are you
What's
doing
good?
today?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. Mr. Parts, the first real wrestler. Well, you're looking
Oh.
at the first real deal wrestler, Mr. Parsley.
Okay, I'm seeing
Thank
that now.
you.
I like that. I like that.
But hey, if we're gonna start it off, James, we gotta start it off good. Mr. Parsley, where's that drink at that I saw you drinking?
This one over here.
All right, man. Let's
Yeah.
have a toast. Let's have a toast.
To the douchebags. Toast for the assholes.
100%. And I'm almost, if you don't mind, I'm gonna say the Drunken Lord's Prayer. It's really
I don't
easy.
know if I'm gonna mind yet or not. We'll see, won't we?
Hey, it's really easy. Literally, if you understand proper English and know movements, then you're good.
Okay. Okay. Where did Tap go? What are we?
I guess
Oh,
he's
probably get a
he's gonna
drink.
go get something to drink.
Peer pressure. He shouldn't hang out with us.
I know. We're really good influences.
Something like that. How you been, Still?
I've been all right, man. I've been all right.
Yeah. Taking any bookings? Huh?
I'm signed to 3 different companies right now. So
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, look at that. Look
All
at
right,
that.
James. You mind if I do the Drunken Lord's Prayer with all of us on screen?
So what?
The Drunken Lord's Prayer.
Okay, I'll make an
All right.
exception.
So, for all the ladies and gents watching at home, this is what the Drunken Lord's Prayer is, and this goes out to the real guys of professional wrestling and the James Taylors of professional wrestling and the Nemesis Sessions. So it goes a little something like this: up to it, down to it. Fuck those that don't do it. We do it because we used to it. Now drink, motherfucking drink.
Look at that.
Cheers, boys.
Hey, now I can say I had a toast with Justin Parsley.
No shit.
We
I think
all
you're
had
the
a
only
toast.
one. Well, Taff, but yeah.
Hell yeah. Amen. I want that American lager. Anyways, Anthony's still here to co-host.
Co-host.
I haven't really had a co-host before, but this isn't Tom Bryce's show. Tom Bryce is on a whole different level than me. So we're going to do it where you're here. So we're going to conduct an interview with Mr. Parsley.
Let's
Is
go.
there any questions, Anthony, that you would like to ask Mr. Parsley tonight?
See, I'm the guy that hits the hard hitting questions. I want to know. I want to dig deep inside the mind and the feelings of Mr. Justin Parsley. All right.
He's an old head like me. Be careful,
So,
kid.
so here we go. You know I'm very honest, as you can tell. Which also, if y'all want to side note, tune into some honest answering. Tune into Sports Wire Radio right after the Nemesis Sessions live on YouTube, where you see myself yet again doing some honest thinking. And I would love Justin Parsley to attend that show today and, be beside me on Sports Wire Radio.
I might be able to do that.
But the first question I want to ask you is, everyone loves to say what their favorite match is, favorite competitor. Nah. What was the worst match you've wrestled and why?
Oh, interesting question. We'll do the 180 and ask what was probably one of your favorite matches, but go ahead and let's go with that. Only if you want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is
The
Justin's
worst.
show. This is Justin's show. I don't mean to interrupt him, but this is his show. So if he wants to tell you to go piss off and he don't want to answer, he don't have to. Okay.
That's fine.
The worst match I ever had was just happened at IMF this past Saturday. It was me and Tommy Merriman inside of a cage, and I thought it would be super dope. And we just had a lot of missed spots and a lot of miscommunication, which is so weird because normally I'm like butter and Tommy's a hot knife, and we just go together like that. But that's why it felt so defeating, is because normally our chemistry is on par, and that match it was just all over the place.
You know, when I have matches like that, what usually it ends up being is that you get both guys trying to control the match, and then a lot of miscommunication happens, and everything gets screwed up. That's
Yeah.
usually what happens whenever it happens with me.
And we had some stuff change like on the fly that I didn't know about until we were in the ring. Like I'm calling it, and he's like, "Oh, we can't do that." I'm like, "Okay, nice to know now, bro." Like, so, it is what it is.
Hey, I mean,
There's my honesty for you, bro.
As we say, cards subject to change, even mid match.
What about you, Anthony? How about you answer that same question?
Was my worst match?
Your worst match you could think of that you were just like, man, that sucked.
Have you ever had a bad match?
Yeah. An XCW.
Yeah.
Evan Phoenix.
Really?
I did not like my match with Evan Phoenix.
Really?
I mean, I think it's because like I don't know. This is probably one of the first times I've gotten gassed, and then he got gassed, and then I think one of the moves he landed on my leg, and I was like, nope, and then and so, but I mean, it made sense. It wasn't probably a horrible match, but I'd say it's probably one of the worst that I've wrestled in my career. Yeah, I'd probably have to say Evan Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine would be it was a gauntlet, a 3-way gauntlet match in TBW. Like before I left the first time, I had to face Russell Cooper, Heartbreak Wentworth, and Andrew Clay. No offense to the guys, but that match was just shit to me. So the only fun part of that match was beating the hell out of Jay Wild as the referee, and that was the end of it.
No, I think the best part that I watched of that match is when Sarge took the stunner and he just flops.
He flops over literally just like freaking Vince McMahon did on.
Dude, I was like, oh my god. But hey,
I'll have to check it.
We might be a little healed into this a little bit, but we still nice guys. So shout out to TBW out there. Y'all doing great products out there. Shout out, y'all doing great.
Joshua Y with the what, and I know this guy, and he's a guy that I'm probably going to be having on a future episode. Hopefully, we'll find out more. But he is an old school guy who had a short run in the TWF days with me, Mr. G Force himself. And yes, like a burrito, he is an inside joke, but that guy, he's a cool cat, and we'll talk with him later on.
Okay, so next question, Mr. Parsley.
Yes,
we talked
Mr.
about
Steve.
the worst. We talked about the worst match. Now let's talk about your favorite match you've gotten to work.
Okay, so how about let's do it this way? How about in the New Testament times, since you come back in 2022, Mr. Parsley, since you've been back and you've been hitting the ground running, in this time era, what would you consider your best match so far? The one that you had the most fun in that you believe was really good?
It was the second match with IMF where we went old school, where it was more of a hardcore style that you'd never really seen me wrestle. You didn't even know that I could do. And then I got out there and kept up with GP and Omen. Like, fucking said something, right? Yeah, like they're big boys and they fucking lay it in. So
more like they kept up with you, right?
That might be too, yeah. We had a hell of a performance. I know that's my favorite match, though. What about you, man?
What about James? I want to hear James real quick.
Okay.
Come on, James.
Put me on the spot, huh?
What's the Nemesis favorite match coming back in 2021? What was your favorite match so far?
In 2021?
From 2021 to now.
2021 to now. Oh, I have 3. No, I have 2. And they're identical, and I'm going to say it that way, whether it makes you upset or not. The first match where I finally broke my feet and was ready to go, and it was my fourth official match, and that was the first time I had the one-on-one with you in the street fight. The one-on-one street fight broke me literally back in, and it was like I'm either gonna sink or swim in this damn match. And 22 degrees helped me basically wake up. So thanks, Anthony. Thank you. The cold weather that was out there in 2022, January 2022. But that street fight. Did you ever see that match personally yet?
I don't think I've seen that one. I don't think I've seen that one.
It was our first one-on-one match.
Is there snow on the ground and everything too?
No, no, it was just cold as
Damn,
shit.
dude.
And I took probably the first time in 16 years I took a huge vertical suplex on solid ground, and I did it just like I did back in the day. And you can watch just near the beginning of the match, this big 6'4" motherfucker picks me up, and I said, "Do it. I'm trusting you." He's like, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Suplex me over the barricade. Pick me up, suplex me." He goes, "You serious?" I said, "Yeah." He picks me up, my big fat ass, and wham! You can hear that thud on hard ground, 22 degrees. That ground did not give way.
I still say the funniest part about that is 22 degrees, and I'm like taking my shirt off like this, nothing, and everyone's like, "Are you not cold?" I'm like, "No, my adrenaline was rushing. I was leaking. Oh, dude, I didn't care about the weather at that point. My full body was hot. I was in the moment.
All right, I'll check this out, man.
G
That's
Force
awesome.
says the ground does not forgive. Yeah, I'll send that match to you. That way you can check it out. But
Did you two
the
always
whole
compete in
match
TBW then? Is that
that
how
was
you
in
guys?
TBW, and that was in the makeshift ring before they got the actual 16 by 16 ring
Okay.
that they got from Resi. So there was that match, and then fast forward to last year. I had a number of matches, but I think my match with Jay Wild, which was my last match at TBW at Anniversary 6, or Anniversary 7, whichever one it was. It was a 2 out of 3 falls match. The first match was a singles match. Second match was a street fight, no holds barred, and the third match was a submission match. And I lost that match, but it was really, really fun. I had a hell of a time, and I bled in that match more than I did the one with Anthony. But Anthony bled like a stuffed pig in the one that I did. I busted him open bad.
Hey, look, I got told there was blood. I got happy.
I've watched Anthony bleed like a stuffed pig, definitely.
So that
Like a
was his
stuffed pig,
second
right?
time.
Right,
Yeah,
Wolver, right?
that was a good
Tell him,
day.
Anthony. That
Oh man.
So that was his second time in XCW bleeding that way. I remember when he told me about that. But the first time was with me, and here's the backstory. I'm gonna break kayfabe a little
Hey,
bit. I'm
let's do
sorry.
it. Let's do it.
It's fine. That's what we do here. So I come to this match thinking we're gonna have our match, and I'm gonna make him like I like to do with anybody. I want to sell for him, make him look like $100 million, right? And he's like, "What do you want to do?" We're talking about stuff, and then I was like, and then blah blah blah. You're gonna bust me open. He goes, "Okay, we're gonna use fake blood or something." And he wasn't ready exactly. He didn't know what I was comfortable doing. I said, "No, I brought my jig. I brought my jigs." And he's like, "What? You brought what? What do you do with that?" I'm like, "I'm gonna
I didn't
juice
say
for
what
you."
do you do with that.
Not that. You know what I did. But you know
Don't
what I
act
mean.
like I was fucking stupid
But I
walking
said
into
I'm
this.
gonna juice. I said I'm gonna juice for you, and I want you to bust me open. You're like, I want to do it too. I said, what the fuck? So I
Yeah,
gave him his. He set his up in his spot. I set mine up. I don't bleed as much as he does, but
he
he did
nicked
the
himself,
job.
bro.
Huh?
Like
He
he was
had like
shaving.
this much fucking blood, and I'm just like
Yeah,
pouring.
I just did a little bit, just like because he hits me with a, not to spoil anything, but he hits me with a claymore with a steel chair and hits me in the head, and I do the job. But that was after he was bleeding. When I hit him with the signs and stuff, I come back after I move a ladder out of the way. I come back to get him. This son bitch is like split way the fuck open, crimson mask already. I'm like, here we go.
That's how
But
I've seen him.
22
Yeah.
degrees. I have to give you that, Anthony. When you were in XCW bleeding, wasn't it hot that day? So you've bled in cold weather and hot weather. Which do you prefer? Because in cold weather, it coagulated quicker.
Well, see, okay, so here's the difference.
Science, bitch.
It actually had nothing to do with the because like Parsley was there. It had nothing to do with the weather. It was DJ. Let's break fourth wall. DJ was not trying to go for it. He did not want to fucking do it at all. And I told him, I was like, dude, it'd be a good fucking spot. People would pop, which they did.
hmm
And he was like, all right, man. He's like, do you trust me? And I was like, I trust you, man. And he went a little too deep, and it just wouldn't stop. Like, would not stop. And finally, here's a little break of kayfabe. We're back in the back now. Everyone, I have like 15 people surrounded me, but like, are you good? You good? You need water? You need something to drink? You need to lay down? And I'm like, nah, just back up. Because like at that point, everyone's just surrounding me, and I'm getting even more hot.
Yeah.
And finally, it was one of those things where it's like, you know, I felt like I either had to pass out or puke. And I was like, I ain't passing out. I still got the rumble to do at the end of the night. So I puked, and I was perfectly fine after that. After I fucking puked, I was perfectly fine. Fucking Hobbs fucking super glued my face shut. We went out in the ring, performed the fucking rumble, and fucking Fletch was like, if you bleed one drop in my ring, you're out. You're gone.
He still says that, so it's fine.
Yeah,
like, I get
and so the one drop hits, and then Hobbs looks down, and he looks at me. He goes, "It's time to go, buddy." I was like, "Oh fuck!" Oh,
Josh Allen says, "Evening, evening."
what's good,
Mr.
Josh?
Allen.
What's up, Josh?
Well, that's different in the TBW ring, because in the TBW ring, when you were bleeding, you were.
Oh, they
dripping.
let me
You
bleed
can
all
see the
over, man.
shot. You'll see the video. He was.
Dude, I'm just
bleeding
like
all
at
over
one
that
point,
mat. It was
I'm like
pouring
this
out of his
laying
head.
down, and all you can see is just the blood start dripping straight off my face. Like
Oh,
they get a
shit.
full fucking front camera view. Oh, dude, it was great.
Did you
I'll
guys
do
have
it
to go
again.
black and? Did you have to go black and white for that, like XCW did?
No,
I think
they
XCW
didn't go.
did
They didn't go black and white.
I'll check it out. Just
No
send me the
black and
links.
white. I'll send you the link.
Yep.
I'm actually going to do some. I'm going to re-upload it to my channel, but I have it unlisted right now because of copyright issues. That's why I'm re-uploading a lot of my matches. But I'll send you the old link so you can just see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it was great. But you know what? Let's go back to Mr.
I still haven't
Parsley.
said
Mrs.
mine,
Parsley.
bitch.
Okay, what's yours, Hot Shot? What's yours?
God damn.
Anthony Steele show. What are you thinking?
What are you
It must be
talking about?
Mr. Parsley show, not you. You're the
This
co-host.
is steel.
you son of
This
a
has
bitch.
now been turned into
I
steel
have to hear
talk.
now.
Don't
I
play
have
with
to
me.
hear. Oh, this is Parsley's TV, but go on.
But nah. So I'd probably say my favorite match.
Soldier GP says, well.
I'll do one from the three companies I performed in the most. XCW, and this is gonna just like shock a lot of people because I loved working with DJ, but I'd probably say my best match that told a story was against Miano. I love Miano Diaz, and I've said it once, I'll say it again. Congrats winning the world championship.
Mhm.
I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Miano is a great talent, man.
Yep.
Really young.
One of the best. One of the best.
NGJPW would probably be WrestleFest 9 main event, me versus Foxy Boy career versus championship. At that point, everyone thought that I was leaving, and nope, psych, we lied. But we told a story in there, and then I'd have to say in TBW was definitely me versus James because that match we prolonged it for so long, started it in September, ended it in December, and it was just a great story. Because at that time, a lot of people weren't doing storylines, like they weren't following a story. And I love that me and James could bring that aspect back into the art of backyard wrestling or wrestling in general. And, a lot of people tuned in and watched it because they were like, oh, well, what's going to happen next? What, what's the next move? And yeah, man, it was the first time that I got to actually leak like I wanted to, because a lot of people were scared to wrestle me if I was going to bleed. And they were like, ew, there's blood. Oh, I don't want to do nothing with that. And then James, when me and James came together and was like, we're both going to do it, he's like, if you start leaking, we're still going. I was like, I'm perfectly fine with that. Like, but
I'm an old head, that's why.
and like that's my reason why I want to face a lot of the old heads is because, as James says, I'm new school, y'all are old school. Y'all have done this stuff before me, and I've watched the stuff that happened before me. And I like collaborating with old school versus new school because then it shows how much the evolution of professional wrestling's really gone.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Respect that for sure.
Because James, we didn't have rings, man. Back in the day, at one point, we just did not have a ring option, not even makeshift. It was just ground
On the
wrestling.
ground, straight
Yep.
on the ground, or you may do with something. We may do with a camper at times with us. And then a 1984 metal Ford truck that didn't have an engine in it, we got to tear the shit out of that. Not too many people could say they could tear the shit out of a truck in the middle of a match, and we did it. You know,
That's good shit.
it was fun. It was great.
Yeah,
Soldier
absolutely.
GP talking some shit to you, Parsley. Parsley versus Soldier GP, June 22nd, no DQ. I got a table with your name on it. Would you like to rebuttal?
I just think he better not get caught like laying on that table because my name might be on it, but then GP's going through it with me.
Oh
Yeah.
man, oh dude, you
He
think
knows
you
what
can
that's
pick him
about.
up? You think
Nah,
you
I
can
can
pick
fucking
up
lay
this
an elbow.
Parsley?
I don't know. We'll see, won't we? We'll see, won't we?
You're
I can
not really
definitely
a
try.
strength wrestler. You're more of
I'm not.
technical and fast. You kind of
I know
springboard
to
all over
take
the
out
place.
his legs. I know to take out his legs and his ankles. You know, I know what to do.
There you go. You need to
But
get
he doesn't need to hear
technical.
any more than that. Like he doesn't.
Yeah, you don't want to reveal your strategy to him.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I wouldn't want to swerve him on that either. Like go for a different body part.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to give you a card right here. And that card is that you have permission to do a Nemesis James Taylor stunner on his big ass from me to you to deliver to him. Give him that little message for me in that match. Would you do that for me? I'd appreciate it.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll
What?
take that card. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
You're damn right. You know,
Yeah.
take the old school stunner, the old head stunner that I got. I'm gonna let you do it. I want to see you do it. You give him and you just drop his ass. Anyways, I'm getting fired up. Anthony, what was you never really said, but what was your? Oh, I know you did. Your worst match. Oh, that's right. That's right. Is there another question you'd like to ask Mr. Parsley?
Um.
Well, while he
All right.
thinks,
All right. So now I was trying to figure out how to word it. So you've been in the art of wrestling since the mid '90s. Uh, and you faced a lot of big names. You faced a lot of up and comers. But looking in the art of wrestling now, there's a lot of new faces that have arose on the scene. If you were to choose 5 people that you would want to step in a ring with, who would they be?
Wow, that is a tough question, is what that is.
now, is this all around professional wrestling, or is this only like
Like
backyarders and
our
underground wrestling?
industry.
Yeah, our industry. I'll say our industry.
Okay. Well, I think that just the way you hyped him alone, Miano Diaz has to be a dream opponent one-on-one. I think that Miano is one of the best up-and-comers for sure. I think, man, this is tough. You put me in a hell of a spot. I think D'Angelo LaFlame.
He's on my hit list too.
Yeah. I mean, why not, right? I think Delta. I've never stepped in the ring with Delta. I've seen him around. I've, been in the locker
The
room
bump
with
card
him.
master. The bump card master. We love him on here on the Nemesis Sessions.
The other 2 are in here, so I don't know what you want to do about that.
That's your 5. That's your 5.
There they
And
are.
kind of, in a way, you can it's almost like you're answering this, but Joshua Allen wants to know if you could book a fantasy backyard wrestling event, who would you book?
I would need more time on that one. I think I could come up with the card, but I would need more time on that one.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, there's just a lot. There's a lot going on in the East Coast. There's a lot that I'm more familiar with here in the Midwest. Down south, you got your own thing going on too. So I would just need more time to think about that. But I think that I could book and promote a hell of a fucking fantasy. Like, we'll write it out and I'll send it to you. It'll be a follow-up.
Hey, maybe you should write it out and post it on your Instagram, and then we all share it. That'd be pretty
How about
dope.
that? Okay, I can
Hey,
do that.
maybe we should all do that. I would do it.
So James, what are 5 people in the industry, in our industry right now, that you would like to get your hands on that you haven't been able to?
Shane Davidson comes in here. I'm not answering like that. Yeah, but he says, "Evening, gents. Mr. Davidson, how you doing?" So 5 people that I have not wrestled in our neck of the woods that I would like to. There's quite a few names. I Delta was one of them, and I got to actually have a match with him. It wasn't really the match that I wanted, that I thought I wanted. It didn't work out the way. But as like have another go around, maybe. But as far as 5 that I really haven't, I'm gonna say first name that comes to mind, CJ Black. from ROEW. I want to slap the piss out of him. Um, and one of his colleagues, Mr. Jason Storm, Mr. Clean, I like to call him now because he shaved his head. And then I'd like to do have a match with Soldier GP, of course. In Black, those two for sure. And fifth, I guess, would be Mr. Real Wrestler right here, Mr. Parsley, because I'd like to test his old ways against my old ways, and I think we'd put on a banger for sure.
I think so too, based on that alone.
Yeah. Oh, and I have to add because he's an old school too, and if he's watching or if he watches it later, from the DKW, Mr. Dark Cron and Matthew Forsaken, those guys are I really like them and respect them too. So I'm gonna add that'd be 7 for me.
Oh yeah.
That I know for sure that I would really like to have matches with. Whether it be mostly one on one. I like one on one matches. One of my favorite matches back in the day, hands down, back in the day, in the old school days on the ground and everything, was triple threat matches. I love triple threat matches.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like nowadays in today's New Testament, it seems everybody is all about those one on one matches. If this guy's actually going to face this guy for once, and then we go at it. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And that's cool. Where back in the day, it was literally, hey, let's just throw a whole bunch of people together, let's kick each other's ass. And that was
as many as we can get in there.
Great.
Yeah.
Like
we pop for elimination chamber matches being invented and stuff like that. Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And the funnest part about those two is 90% of the time you're about to learn this, Anthony, because this is how politics are more nowadays than they were back then. Tell me if you relate to this, Parsley. But when I had matches, we would literally go into the match and still don't know who's going to win until we're midway through the match. All right, who do you want to win? Hey, let's let Nick win. Let's let Chris win. Let's let James win. We're in the middle of the match doing it. We don't even know who's going to win when we start it. We just do it.
We were having like company versus company matches, putting people out of business, doing just that, booking it that way, not deciding till the end what was going to happen and who was going to side with who. Ridiculous. Yeah. But yeah, same era. I get it.
Shane Davison, no match with me. Well, I mean, yeah, I'd like to have a match with you. This guy, if you look on my YouTube, he's the biggest guy I've ever picked up. I met him last year at TBW for a brief moment. He's as tall as Anthony. I think he might be a little bit taller than Anthony. 360 pounds. They call him the Armageddon Shane Davison. He might call himself something different, but I picked him up and gave him an attitude adjustment because they just wanted to see if I could pick him up because I'm about power. And I like to do that. So I did it. I picked him up and I did it. So yeah, Shane, I would like to have a match with you. I'd like to give a big bastard a stunner for sure. Would any of these guys? I don't know. But it would be a clash of the Titans in the New Testament to see Anthony and Shane Davison. That would be interesting. And Anthony, before you say anything, if you don't know about him, he has had some training. So I will give him credit that he actually knows what he's doing. He probably knows about what you do. And he would be a good. That would be a match I'd like to see for Clash of the Titans, dude. Like literally for big guys, Anthony and Shane 1-on-1. That'd be an interesting matchup. Aaron Blaze, what's up, Aaron Blaze? Hey, my boy JP, and he said, "Sup, Taylor and Steele. How you doing, Mr. Aaron Blaze? Welcome. Might need to get him on here, Mr. Dark Cryptic Wrestling. Evening, gentlemen. Have you met any of the guys from DKW, Justin?"
I have not actually met them. I don't think that they were at Encounters. I don't think I've met them officially.
Okay. Well, they're really good guys. Dark Cron, I think he's like their main guy, but he's an old head like you and me. And so there you go.
That's what
Shane
you were saying,
and Anthony, Summer Bash, maybe.
Bring it.
Bring it, he said. I don't know. I guess we have to see what Shane would want to do.
Hey, if I could put Ullman on my shoulders, 6 foot, 385 pounds, I think I could pick up 6'4", 360. I think I could do this.
I believe in you.
But not so. To answer my own question,
yeah,
because I've faced a lot of guys, and 100% Parsley's on that list. Because I wish I would have never left XCW because I knew me and Parsley could have done something.
Yeah.
So Parsley's dead on there. As Parsley said, D'Angelo the Flame, I'm coming for you, boy.
Yeah.
One way or another, like we said at NOCW, if it's not at Resi, we'll find somewhere else. And then I'd probably have to go Jay Wild. I really need a match with Jay Wild. Um,
He says Melva
Sean
would love to
Jovi.
meet Mr. Parsley. Aaron Blaze said Summer Bash. Oh, and then CJ Black says hello, ladies. He's in the. I don't know what he's seeing, but how you doing, sweetheart?
It's like a Val Venus shout, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's
But
hello, ladies.
Yeah, there it is.
but yeah. So it'd be Parsley, D'Angelo, Jay Wild, Sean Jovi from WCE.
That's a
Because
good one,
dude is still the face of WCE. I don't care what anyone has to say. That dude is the best wrestler they have.
That would be a
Um,
good Clash of the Titans. You and Jovi.
oh,
That's it.
100%.
That's fucking money, dude. Yeah.
And I'm gonna call someone out that's in the chat right now. That is one of the reasons why I started traveling like 4 years ago. I need a match with Aaron Blaze. I really do need a match with Aaron Blaze. I think me and him could
Yeah.
actually work some shit out.
Let me make my list 6 people, and I'm gonna throw him on there too.
And
Because
then at
Aaron, I
6,
get it.
dude, 6. I called him out on SportsWire before. I'm gonna do it again on the Nemesis Sessions. Jimmy Controversy.
Damn.
And little known fact, guys. Here's a little spoiler. Anthony Steele will be making his way to Pro Wrestling Venom in June. So not Parsley, Controversy. Yeah, Blaze versus Steele. Dude, like that was one of the matches a lot of people wanted to see, and it never ever fucking happened. So, we gotta find a place. But Controversy, man, I'll be at your turf next month. So let's see what happens. Let's see what transpires.
Mr. Parsley, we're getting a little bit close to time, but I'm not going to cut you off right away. But what I want to do is usually what I like to do near the end of the show is have not my host, because my host right here, he's got his little tripping lights while he's smoking his little vape. But Mr. Parsley,
Real deal
is
does
there
what he
any
wants.
questions? Is there any questions you'd like to ask either Anthony or myself that might be on your mind that you're interested, or is there anything that you would like to plug, say, or anything? Lay out any challenges to any future opponents. And lastly, what's your next match and when is it? And
So
cheers, by the way.
cheers. Yeah, of course. It's been a good night. I think I'm empty though, so I got to go get the other one. But
That's okay. You can bring it out on SportsWire.
yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you, Anthony. You're always one step ahead of the game. I don't know if I want
We're,
to
we're
agree
gonna
with you.
we're promoting Broken Skull IPA and hopefully American Lager on the Nemesis Sessions for sure. So
What?
what? Hey,
Yeah.
you know what?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I have anything to ask you about. How long do you guys want to do this? What do you guys want to do? I know you want to do a little bit of indie tap. I know you have done indies. So where's this going for you guys?
Who do you want to? All right, so I'll answer first.
Go ahead,
I
sure.
guess.
That's fine.
Because Anthony's about to have his show here shortly on Mr. Tom Bryce, and I'm sure we will all tune in.
Thank you so much, guys.
I would like to have a handful of matches to have those one-on-one matches with a lot of those guys for the backyard before I finish it up. If there's any possibility that I could have that rubber match, obviously with Anthony, but the rubber match with Jay Wild as well, then I'll feel accomplished and done after I have all these matches. Can I get them done this year? I don't know. I can't say yes or no to that, but will it happen? It's going to happen eventually. It will happen before I'm done with this. But as far as indie, I am planning on doing indie as far as working with New South Pro Wrestling. I've said that a lot, and that's something that I'm working towards this year. And I'm just wanting to do that for like a year or two, or just to see where it takes me. I just hit 40, but I'm feeling really good. I've been hitting the gym a lot. I've been doing my diets and stuff. The beer don't help very much, but I've been doing a carnivore diet a lot lately, and it really, really helps out a lot. That's me for sure. And what about you, Anthony? All I want to do is entertain people. Whenever I'm on here, whenever I get in front of the screen, and I'm in front of a crowd, whether there's 50 people in a crowd, 100 people, or there's nobody, as long as there's a camera on me, my job is to entertain. And if I know that I entertain my audience, then I know I did my job. That's all I care about. Win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter to me. In politics, I don't give a shit about none of that. It's just a matter of, does it make sense, and was it fun and entertaining for the audience? Did it make sense to them?
I mean, my next move is what I've been saying. Just keep traveling, keep putting my name out there, getting to bigger and better places month by month, year after year. Um, to all my people that believe in me, thank you. For all the people that don't, sit there and watch. You're about to have a good ride. Um, but I think 2024 and the beginning of 2025 is going to be my touring season to finally face the people in the yard that I haven't yet. Um, I've been in talks with Fletch, figuring out how to face certain people. Because another name that I forgot. You just fought him. I really want to face Tommy. Dude, that would be great. That would be so great.
Yeah.
Um,
Did
but
you face Hunter Hauken while you were there at
uh,
all?
I faced him. Okay, here, let's break kayfabe for a minute. When Dale's company,
Hmm.
which is how I got into XCW, was doing a show for him at their arena, and the boys went up to Fletcher's like, "Dude, you gotta hire this guy. You
Yeah.
gotta bring him in." Hunter Hauken was under the Jason X mask, and I bodied him so bad, and he was selling like a mug, and that. Like you gotta think in that 12 by 12 ring in that garage, dude. There
Hmm.
wasn't a lot of room to move, and for us to do what we did was fire.
Cool.
Um, but then working with him on XCW on the dark matches was pretty lit. I still say Hunter Hauken is going to be one of the faces of XCW. He bleeds that company to a T, and I commend him for that. I 100% respect the work that he's put in and what he's going to continue to put in. I hope he goes off and does bigger things than what he's doing right now and succeeds. Um, AEW is always hiring, boy. So Hunter, go check that out. Uh, but just the same thing I tell everybody is the same thing I tell myself. If this is something you want to do, keep on your grind. Do what you got to do. Get your name out there. And no is never an answer. No is just not right now. That's how I put it.
Thank
So
you. Yeah, that makes absolute sense.
Good answer.
And you know, to rebuttal real quick, when it comes to my ultimate goal, if I go into the indies, my ultimate goal would not be to make it to WWE at my age or nothing like that. Yeah, would I love that? It'd be a dream, hell yeah. But
we
if
understand you're not
if
DDP. That's okay.
exactly. But if I could go anywhere, I would love to go to the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, and they
That'd
have
be cool.
they have a lot of strong, they have strong connections. They have a lot of bookers and everything and scouts that watch New South Pro Wrestling. And Kenzie Page is one of those names. There's some other names that are on there that have came from Austin Theory was actually in New South Pro Wrestling at one point. So I mean,
Okay.
there's a lot of names that have been there, and New South is really a good place. And I keep talking about it because it's literally like 10 minutes from me. So it's just a matter of getting there and getting into my ring shape, and that's all it is. So
I do got a question for you, Parsley.
Yeah.
So you were wrestling in the '90s. So you were there from during the WCW era, right?
Mhm.
the
All right.
Monday Night Wars.
Yeah.
So do you? I don't know if he went. I don't think he went under that name. He might have. You know who AJ Gallant is?
Mm,
Was in
no,
WCW. I can't remember what his ring name was. Um,
doesn't ring a bell.
AJ Gallant was an old WCW wrestler who has a training facility in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Um, and he works alongside. You definitely know this name, Jerry Lynn.
Hmm.
I have AJ Gallant's personal phone number just sitting in my phone. This is like if I ever want to come out there, you know, redo training from start to finish without any intervals happening.
Yeah.
I can pay the 200 a month, do what I got to do, and they got direct ties to AEW and WWE. Um,
Does that turn you off about it, like having to start all the way over from scratch?
nah,
Like,
see, the way I look at it is it's better to start off from scratch
mhm.
than to go in there with guys that have done this way before you and be like, "Oh, I already know this," because then they're gonna look at you and be like, "Well, then get the fuck out of get out of my fucking warehouse." Like, we
Yeah,
don't need that energy.
sure.
Um, and I've always said this. James has heard me say this multiple times. Wrestling is evolving day by day, month after month, year after year, and there's so much for us to learn.
Yeah.
And the best thing, the funniest thing that he told me was when like WWE or AEW or Impact, big name companies come through Tennessee, mostly Nashville, they come and train at their facility because they have two legitimate rings. One has the SmackDown canvas, one has the fucking Raw canvas,
Nice.
and dude, it was fire.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna cap. I tried so hard not to mark the fuck out, because then I got to step in it. Like I
Yeah.
got to be in it for a second, and I was like,
That's
dude,
killer, dude.
this is like my dream. And he was like, they come through, they do training sessions, or they'll come and watch. Um, and the best story that he told me, he goes, "Don't be like some of my old rookies." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "When they saw like the Undertaker or the Randy Orton or a big name come through here, they'd mark the fuck out." And he was like, "Dude, these are just average people coming in, wanting to do some stuff, get ready for their matches and everything." And he's like, "They don't have time for people to mark the fuck out." Especially because they come there and look at their trainees. And
Yeah.
he told me a story that this dude was a football player and like never been trained a day in his life in professional wrestling. And WWE just saw him, and looked at AJ Gallant and said, "You got 6 months to train this dude in order to so we can put him on TV." And so he gave him his training seminar is 12 months, so he can fully train him. He had half that time to train this fucking dude that has never even fucking stepped foot in a ring a day in his life. And he goes, that was a tough situation, but he's like, we did it. He's like, we got him. And at that point, he was just about done with the training. So, and what the way it looks at it is, I think it was Obi Femi, I think is who they were talking about.
Mm.
The dude. If y'all don't watch NXT, then y'all don't know who Obafemi is.
I
But
know. Nothing against it. I just don't know. I watch highlights of it.
and
Yeah.
and that's the one thing that I tell a lot of people is like a lot of people watch Raw, they watch SmackDown, they watch Dynamite, they watch Impact, but like NXT is where a lot of the greats start in WWE at least.
Yeah, for sure.
You had Adam Cole, you had Johnny Gargano, Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, Samoa Joe. Even though they had reputational careers outside of WWE, they went to NXT. But then you had Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Corey Graves. Which, side note, he's supposed to be making an in-ring return because he just got medically cleared for the first time since like 2013.
Wow.
But like that's my whole thing is watching the newer talent because they're like me, they want to do this so badly, and they put on some of the best matches that they can to get noticed, and then hearing that call up is like the best thing for them to hear. If y'all watch the draft, they did a whole video on Ilya Dragunov when he got drafted to Monday Night Raw, and he didn't even think that he was going to get drafted yet. He thought he was going to spend one more year in NXT and then get drafted. And when his name got called, dude, he was like tearing up, but he kept that persona of that badass, guy from across the fucking water. And that's what I want to do. That's who I want to be. That's the position I want to be in, is to bust my ass now to get to that spot to where when I hear my name get called up to the main roster, then I'm gonna be like, I did it. I made it. And all it took was me be level headed and focusing on the positives and not the negatives, which I'm kind of going to contradict myself on Tom Bryce when I say this right now. But
Is this more of a positive vibe that you have right now compared to what it's going to be when you go on Tom's?
well, I want to remain positive when I go on Tom, but I want to be, I don't know I don't know the word to put it. I want to be
You want to be professional?
professional, but let people understand like the
Where are
true
you coming
meaning of
from?
professional wrestling.
Right,
This
right.
ain't Parsley. You've been in this a long time. You said you debuted when 94,
96.
96. You
Mhm.
debuted 4 years before I was born. All right, like you started wrestling 4 years before I was born.
He
All
was
right,
in third grade, he said, right? Third
Yep.
grade when he was wrestling as a kid. You see, I started when I was late 14, about to be 15, and he started when he was like what, 9,
How
10.
how old are you?
Yeah. I'm
If
He's
you don't mind me,
36.
you're how much? How old?
36.
You're as old as my girl.
I'll send you my digits and you can just give them to her. I'm
Yeah,
just
you. Oh,
kidding, boy.
hey, you got a wife and kids. You can stay over there.
Parsleys. Parsleys. Come on, man.
There it is. There it is.
But
So, this has been the Nemesis Sessions, and Anthony, how do you like being a co-host?
oh, is great, especially when y'all can check out the Inside the Ropes podcast on IMF with Omen Black and your boy, the real deal, Anthony Steele, where we love to bring the hard hitting questions, and so that way y'all don't have to ask them. We can get them answered for you. That's our goal.
I haven't even been invited to this show. Ain't that some?
Not yet, not yet.
We're in the same boat.
Hey, like I said,
No, I did come on one time, didn't I? Briefly.
yeah,
It's right whenever you started, I think.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I would say watch XCW, right? XCW Shelbyville. Let me plug that. XCW Wrestling 1, XCW Shelbyville. Parsleys everywhere. Parsleaze. At sign at the front. That's all
There
I
you
have for
go.
right now, right? I guess
Well,
tomorrow night we got a show debuting. Addicted to Chaos. XCW. That's should be a tag team rematch for the number one contendership. The real ones versus the new outliers, which is Fletch and Brogan. And then catch me and Tommy inside the cage at IMF whenever that is uploaded.
that's friggin' awesome. All right,
Yeah.
then. Well, I'm going to put all of the plugs for Mr. Justin Parsley down in the description below, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're watching this right now or you're watching this in the future. That way you can find him on all his social medias, including Instagram and maybe YouTube. I don't know. I'll even put XCW down in the description below. I'll get those links from him and get those posted. And hey, this has been a hell of a session, and this has been really fun. And I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you came onto the show. Do you think we can have you on again?
Oh, absolutely. It'd be an honor. It was real. Thank you both.
All right, that's great. Because
That's
I
my
know we didn't.
motive nowadays. That's my motive.
Sorry, because we didn't get a whole lot of time, but I know that Tom's about to do his show, and I don't want to take from the broadcast of that. And also, I mean, everything. It all works out. But there's 40,000 subscribers on this platform, so hopefully every one of them will come in and they will see this broadcast, and they'll see Mr. Justin Parsley, Mr. Anthony Steele, and I'll put his plugs down in the description below as well. So that way you
Also,
can
check
find
out
them.
Sportswire Radio live on YouTube
Definitely.
in about 5 minutes with your boy, the real deal, Anthony Steele, and maybe, just maybe, you can see these two alongside me tonight. Um, so go check that out. Once this is ended, go subscribe, go follow, go turn on notifications for Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters.
Well, yes, all wrestling matters for sure. And this is Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA, or you can get the American Lager. Mr. Justin Parsley actually has one of these as well. Not a sponsor for them. Would I like to be a sponsor for the El Segundo Brewing Company? Who knows? Maybe one day if I get lucky enough, since I'm the Stone Cold Mark. And you know what? I figured I'd just go ahead and end it with this, since I am the Stone Cold Mark. Let's just show the world how passionate I am about being a Stone Cold Mark. You talk about your Psalms, you talk about your little Bible thump. See, I already done messed it up because I'm getting excited about it.
It's
You
John
talk about
3:16.
John
That's your next line.
3:16.
Yeah, there you go.
Austin 3:16 says, "I just whipped your ass."
Yeah.
And now we got the LA Knight guy right here. So, and then he goes, all he's got to do is go buy himself a cheap bottle of Thunderbird and try and dig back some of that courage he had in his prime. As the king of the ring, I'm serving notice to all the WWF superstars. They're all on the list, and that's Stone Cold's list, and I'm fixing to start running through all of them. Some guy talking trash in the back. Piss off. And then he goes, as far as this WWF Championship match is considered, son, I don't give a rat's ass if it's Davey Boy Smith or Shawn Michaels. Steve Austin's time has come, and when I get the shot, you're looking at the next WWF champion. And how does it go? And that's the bottom line, because
Why?
Stone Cold said so.
Oh, hell
You,
yeah.
you're supposed to say, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
him.
What?
Dummy. Yeah.
Go follow Mr. Justin Parsley, XCW. He's got the XCW shirt. He needs a Nemesis James Taylor shirt, and we'll hook him up with one of those, and maybe an Anthony Steele shirt. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Nemesis Sessions. Thank you so
New
much
merch
for
coming
coming on
out.
here. Yeah, we got some new stuff like that. And we will catch you in the next broadcast. And thank you so